I gave a random budget to every single Premier League club starting with Everton. What budget will they get for their signings? And damn, they land on 250 million for 2 players. So that means they have 250 million to spend, but it has to be on 2 players. So if we take a look at this Everton team, they do have some strengths and weaknesses. Pickford is pretty good, so they don't need a goalkeeper, but they're missing that star striker in their team. So that's why the Everton board has gone ahead and made the signing of Lautaro Martinez, the striker from Inter Milan, world-class striker, and he's joining them for 150 million, which means they still have 100 million left to spend on 1 player, and that will be the one and only Frankie de Jong. They're boosting their midfield with this signing, and they got him for 100 million. So that's exactly the budget spent. Their team got a small, little nice upgrade. It's definitely improved, but this is only the start. We will be spinning this wheel of budget for every single Premier League team. Every team will get a different budget and a different amount of players to sign. But there is a twist. In between these budgets, increases are also 3 punishments. That's how much they should sell a player for. So it won't be as simple. A lot can happen. So let's just spin the wheel again and see what the next team will be. And damn, we get Manchester City. Their team is already stacked. So what could they possibly even need? And they land on $1,150 million signing. That's insane because they're already overpowered. Expect their full backs. And since they have 150 million to spend, they can actually just get the best full back on the game, which is Hakimi for right back. The PSG right back has been insane. And he's now 89 rated. So that makes their team look a lot better, even though it won't let me add him in the starting 11 for some reason, but I was actually hoping they would have gotten a minus budget. But anyways, let's just spin the wheel of clubs again and see who we land on this next time, and we get Chelsea. So already another big club again. Now let's spin the wheel of budget and see what we get. And Chelsea gets 85 million for 2 players. They already have about 73 players, so they're about to add 2 more to this team. But Chelsea definitely needs an improvement at their goalkeeper position, and maybe also a better center back for their team. So first player they've gone for is actually Courtois. He's returning to Chelsea again. He's older now, but still world-class. But he has been signed for 40 million, which leaves us with 45 million. And that will be used on Kim Min-jae. So Chelsea mainly focuses on their defense, and they've done really well. This could actually make them Premier League champions again. But we'll have to wait and see, because we need to spin for our next club, and it lands on Crystal Palace. That's an interesting one. Now let's check their budget, and they've landed on 95 million for 2 players. Not bad at all for Palace. They do have a solid team, but they want to improve their center back and also their midfielder. First player they've signed is Mancini, the Roma defender, for 45 million. And then with the 50 million left, they've gone for Milinkovic-Savic. These two could really help Palace push higher up the table, maybe even break into the top 6, just like you should break that subscribe button. I'm trying to reach 400,000 before the end of the year, so please help me out. Anyways, we spin again, and this time it lands on newly promoted side Burnley. Okay, what budget do they get? And it's 40 million for 1 player. So really not great for a relegation battling side. But they do make use of their 40 million really well and get Sadio Mane. He's not at his peak anymore, but at Burnley he'd still be incredible. Now let's just see what the next team will be, and it lands on Nottingham Forest. What's their budget looking like? Only 10 million for 1 player. That's rough. Who can they even get for their 10 million? And they've managed to bring in Sergio Busquets for 10 million. Old, slow, but experienced. So he won't even be a starter, but still an experienced player for their bench. But let's get back to the spinning wheel, and we land on Manchester United. Okay, here we go. What's their budget? They get 130 million for 6 players. That's interesting. They can't just splash on 1 superstar, they have to spread it out. And honestly, their team needs a lot of new players, especially a goalkeeper. But let's see who they're going to go for. First is De Gea coming back for 15 million. Then they've also got Guerrero for 15 million, Inigo Martinez for 20 million, Di Lorenzo for 30 million, Mkhitaryan for 10 million, which now leaves them with 40 million. They need 1 more player, preferably a striker. But who can they get for 40 million? And they've gone for Robert Lewandowski, the big man himself. This might genuinely be their solution to their team. We could maybe see United finally get back to form again, or maybe not actually. Let's spin the wheel of clubs again, and the wheel lands on Newcastle United. Their budget, 90 million for 3 players. Not bad, but it will still be tough to upgrade their team. They have just lost Isak, so maybe a new striker, a new keeper. Let's see what they go for. Bad. First signing is Szczęsny, 10 million for a solid keeper. They've then gone ahead and signed Cristiano Ronaldo. That's actually insane. insane. He's coming back to the Premier League, but this time to Newcastle United. And then the last one is Llorente for 55 million as their right back. Newcastle has done amazingly here with their signings. I'm interested to see how Ronaldo will perform. Anyways, let's spin the wheel again and see who we get. And it's Wolves, the team currently at the bottom. What will they budget be? 100 million for 5 players. That's a lot of players, but only on average 20 million per player. So let's see what they can find. First signing is Galaxy for 10 million, then David Alaba for 15 million, but I accidentally paid his release clause, but he is worth 15 million. Next is Klose for 15 million. Then they've gone for Mendy for 30 million. But this final signing they've made is absolutely huge. Lionel Messi to Wolves, that's insane. Messi in the Premier League is already incredible. But now for Wolves, this Wolves team is amazing. Let's see if it can save them from relegation, but for now let's keep the wheel spinning. And we get Tottenham. What's their budget? And oh no, Tottenham actually get minus 200 million. That means they have to sell 3 players that'll be worth 200 million in total. So first player they've lost is their newly signed Xavi Simons for 100 million. They also lose Solanke for 35, and the last player going is Pedro Porro for 65 million. So yeah, Tottenham really only got worse. Still a strong squad, but they might just finish mid-table at best. Next spin on the wheel, and we land on Brighton. What's their budget looking like? 170 million for 4 players. That's a big budget, and they get 4 players. So what will they do to improve their team? First, they've gone for Ederson, the goalkeeper, for 45 million. Then they've also picked up Romani for 35 million to strengthen their defense. With 35 more, they've brought in Griezmann, and their final signing is Pedro Gonçalves for 55 million. That's 4 really strong additions. Brighton actually looks stacked after this. Now the wheel spins again and lands on Fulham this time. What's their budget? 6.7 million for 1 player. What player is worth 6.7 million? They have gone with a midfield start in Dybala. That's actually incredible. One simple upgrade, yet very effective for Fulham. But let's keep it going. What do we get now? Aston Villa. Okay, they need some big purchases. And big they do get. They get an insane 450 million for 4 players. Bro, that's insane. Imagine how much more they can upgrade this team. I don't even know what they'll start with, but let's see who they sign first. And they've gone with Kimmich first of all. That's a huge boost to their midfield already. And he costed them 140 million. Then they go for Carvajal for 40 million to solidify their right back spot. Jonathan Tah also joins for 120 million. And with 150 left, they bring in Desiree Doué. 4 world-class signings. Maybe that'll help pull them out of the relegation zone. But back to the wheel we go, and it lands on Sunderland this time. Sunderland also needs some big upgrades, but they get 60 million to sign 1 player. Now who the hell will they even sign? Preferably a goalkeeper, but let's see what they do. And Sunderland has gone with a goalkeeper, the Italian goalkeeper Carnesecchi. That does improve their team a lot, even though it was only 1 signing. But it's now time for another spin, and we get West Ham. West Ham could get punished or upgraded, but damn, they get the second punishment, which is that they have to lose a player worth 50 million. So that'll actually just be their most valuable player, which is Jared Bowen. He's now gone. Not the worst, but not the best. But now only 5 teams left on the wheel, and only 1 punishment is left. Who will get it? Well, the next team we land on is Bournemouth. Can Bournemouth land on a big budget signing? Nah, forget what I just said. 1 million? Really? 1 bloody million. What will they even do to improve this team? Wait, actually, they've gone with Manuel Neuer. I completely forgot about him. But he's actually worth only 1 million because he's so old. But he's also really good, so that's a very smart signing from Bournemouth. But let's get on to the next team. And we've landed on Leeds United, which is the final side of all the newly promoted teams. What is Leeds getting? And they get a humble 80 million for 1 player. And they've actually used that on Luis Diaz. They're bringing him back to the Premier League. So that'll be interesting to see how he will perform for Leeds. 3 teams left only. And we get Liverpool now. This will get very interesting. And damn, the current Premier League champions gets 200 million for 1 player. That's insane. They can basically sign any player to their team. But they've gone ahead and gone with Valverde. That's an insane player to add to their already stacked and incredible team. They are really looking to defend their title. But 2 teams left. And the first one we land on is Arsenal. Will they get the final punishment or final budget? And they get the final punishment, which is losing 2 players worth a combined of 100 million. And first player they lose is Zubimendi for 60 million. And then also Mascara for 40 million. So not bad losses, because their midfield and defense is still stacked. But they also didn't get any better. But that now leaves us with the final team, which will be Brentford. And the only thing left on the wheel is a budget of 15 million for 1 player. And that 1 player will be Zapata. So they do get a boost to their attack. That's not bad at all. But that's now all the teams given a random budget. Some random transfers such as Ronaldo to Newcastle or Messi to Wolves will be interesting to see. But we also saw Tottenham, West Ham, and Arsenal getting punished. So all that's left to do is to simulate a Premier League season and see what this has done to the table. So I've now simulated till the end. Let's Let's take a look at the Premier League table now. So the three teams that ended up getting relegated were Burnley, West Ham, and Fulham. That makes sense. We then have Bournemouth in 14th and Sunderland in 13th. Wolves got all the way to 12th with Messi and their other signings, and in 11th we have Crystal Palace. Everton finished in 10th and Chelsea only in 9th. Newcastle managed to get 8th with Ronaldo, and in 7th we have Arsenal, who lost 2 players. Forest got 6th, which is insane, and in 5th we have Aston Villa with their 4 big signings. Tottenham somehow got 4th despite only losing players, but in 3rd we have Liverpool, which means United's rebuild actually worked and got them to 2nd, but the winner is Manchester City. So Hakimi did it for them. Congratulations to all Manchester City fans.